Whoops. Let's try that one. There we go. All right. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you happen to be. My name is Christopher Harrison. This is Code and Coffee. I'm just going to adjust my audio level here real quick. There we go. I think that looks good. I'm going to move my mic, I think, as well. There we go. Okay. I think that looks good. Yeah, so anyway, this is Code and Coffee, the show where I get on camera and really just kind of play around with different web dev things. And one of the things that I sort of had in mind when I originally started this show is to really make it about exploration. Like the first couple of episodes that we did was very much a sort of me kind of learning and poking around and things like that. That sort of is kind of the spirit of what it is that we're doing here is let's get in and let's kind of just learn web dev and let's poke around and let's, see what's out there. And this is especially true in modern web dev where there are a countless number of frameworks. There's a countless number of different things that you could potentially go in and start exploring. And it can be really confusing to try and navigate the space. And if you're going to be a developer in today's world, you need to have some level of familiarity with multiple languages and certainly multiple frameworks as well. Now, don't get me wrong, you can absolutely build an entire career around, or at least at the present moment, around doing nothing but JavaScript and React. Like 100% you can find jobs and you can focus in solely on that. But if history has taught us anything when it comes to development and really technology in general, is that things are going to change over time. And so whatever is the exciting new framework today might not be the exciting new framework in a month or in 6 months or in a year. Something else that can happen is it might become commoditized, that it might become so common that basically everybody knows it. And if it becomes commoditized, it's then tougher to find work because then the people that you're competing against, there's going to be more people that are there. And so that's sort of a long-winded way of me saying that, even if you are solely a JavaScript React developer, again, just sort of using that as my example, it's always going to behoove you, behoove being a good word, it's always going to behoove you to know multiple languages and to know multiple frameworks, or at the very least, again, just be familiar with them. And part of that is to continue to make yourself marketable and employable. That, you might not always find yourself working on React, or you might find yourself, being offered a role or be interested in a role that's maybe using a different framework. And so if you're already familiar with that, it's going to give you a leg up. But more importantly, one thing that you will find in learning about different frameworks and learning about different languages is they're going to help solidify your understanding of whatever language or framework it is that you're spending a lot of time with. That the analogy that I always like to give is, I took 4 years of French in high school, and I basically speak no French. A friend of mine likes to joke, it's menu French, that a lot of English cooking words are based around the French. So I can read a French menu, but a lot of that is because of the fact that I cook. And so I'm familiar with a lot of the terms that I'm going to see there. And then I know just enough French beyond that to be able to piece it together. So those 4 years that I spent learning French didn't really help me learn French. But what they did help me get a better understanding of is language in general. And they gave me a better understanding of how English works, because you get that little bit of a comparison here. So there's another great advantage to learning multiple frameworks or learning multiple languages, is that it will then help you better understand the framework that you're using. It will help you better understand the language that you're using, because you'll have something to be able to compare it against, and you'll be able to see, oh, that's interesting. Vue does it this way, or Svelte does it this way, or Angular does it this way. And you'll be able to then take some of those lessons and be able to either A, solidify your understanding of whatever framework it is that you like to use, or B, be able to take some of the lessons that maybe you've picked up from another framework and apply them into the one that you're using. So there's always things to be picked up. Bruce says omelette au fromage. Exactly, yeah. So picking up those different things are certainly going to help you and help you become a better developer. And so that leads us into Svelte. And Svelte is a relatively I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Bruce throwing menu items into the chat there. Svelte is a relatively new framework, and it's a bit of an up-and-comer that I've chatted a little bit about it with a couple of other people. I know that John Papa, who's a name chances are you might be familiar with, is a really big fan of Svelte, and there's a lot of kind of neat things that he sees out of it. And it's a framework that I've been a bit interested in. It's one that, honestly, I have not written a single line of code with it. So I am 100% going to be learning sort of as we go through this about Svelte. And the little bit that I have seen about it, and what I do what I do kind of like about it is that it does seem to be a little bit more lighter weight than, say, React or even to a certain extent Vue. That one of the challenges that you do start to face when you're working with a lot of those frameworks, and I think Angular is kind of a big example of this, is that they do tend to be rather bloated, and they do tend to require that you do things a very specific way, and that if you're going to, for example, work with state, that you have to make sure that you register it in a particular way. React being a great example, where you need to use either a hook or something else to be able to register something as state, or in Vue, you need to define that data portion inside of your component, and that's then going to manage your state. And what Svelte seems to do that's a bit different, which I think is really intriguing, is it focuses a lot more on the JavaScript that you are able to write things in a little bit more of a natural way than you would with, say, again, Angular or React or something like that. And so it's something that's really intrigued me, and something that I definitely am excited to get in and start exploring. And Bruce mentions he lives on the French Riviera. I actually got to spend a couple of days down in Nice, a couple of days in Lyon, and I had a consulting gig in, and I'm going to mispronounce this name, forgive me, in Grenoble. And just absolutely loved it down there. I fell in love with Lyon, and Nice was absolutely amazing. Just loved it down there. So, but anyway, So the way that I like to learn things is to really get in and actually try and do something with it. because I can go through the tutorial, and don't get me wrong, I'm going to bring up the tutorial here in a couple of minutes just to get a bit familiar with it. But I can go through the tutorial and walk through that. But at least for me, at least the way that my brain works, it doesn't necessarily connect if I just go through the tutorial. That what I need is I need to be able to build something with it. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do is I'm going to start building something with it. It will probably, start with a very basic list, and then we'll start to kind of grow from there, and we'll see how far along we can get. And the other big thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use TypeScript for this. That I'm a huge fan of TypeScript. I just love TypeScript. And so I want to get in and spend a little bit of time trying to get this to work with TypeScript, which I do know that it does work with TypeScript, that they actually highlight the fact that this does work with TypeScript. They've got some templates that you could go ahead and use, which oddly enough, I'm not going to use the templates. I'm going to use something different, which I'll get to in a few minutes. But yeah, so you'll notice that there is support for TypeScript. So I'm definitely going to get in and work with that in TypeScript. So live 20 kilometers from Nice. That's very cool. I dig that. I was in Airbnb that I stayed in when I was in Nice. It was actually it was closer to Monaco, if I remember right, than Nice itself, and it was something on the sea, of course in French, so sur la mer, and I cannot remember what the name of the town was, but it was just an adorable little town, and the Airbnb that I was in just had this gorgeous view of the water. It was one of the best weekend little getaways that I've been able to have. It was just amazing. So anyway, okay. So let's go in and take a look at the tutorial here. So the tutorial here is going to walk us through some of the basics of Svelte. And I did look at the tutorial already, and I think that this is kind of a nice place to go in and start our exploration, partly because it's a tutorial, but also because of the fact that it's going to really highlight some very interesting things about Svelte. So what you're going to notice is something like this. So I'm going to say let name equals Christopher. Yeah, that was it. And I'm not going to try and pronounce it. Via France. Yeah, that's where I was. So. No, Bruce, it's all good. It's all good. In today's day and age, thinking about travel when we're not allowed to at the moment is kind of nice. Anyway, okay. So bringing it back to the tutorial here. So what you're going to notice is we've got a basic JavaScript script tag here. Now it's inside of a Svelte file. So there is obviously some processing that's going to happen to make the magic happen. But what I really like here about the syntax is that's just JavaScript. Like there's nothing that's fancy there. And then what I can do is I can then just put in the curly braces here, and I can go name, and now it prints that out. And when we contrast this with something like React, or we contrast this with something like Vue, that if what I'm wanting to do is to set up some form of a state object, I'm not able to just declare it in JavaScript and away I go. That what I need to do is to declare it as state. I need to put it in a specific spot or something like this. So just like having this right here, just being able to go let name equals Christopher, and then just be able to access that like that is really freeing. Like already, I'm kind of a fan of I guess, of Svelte. See what I did there? Because van Svelte. jokes for my own entertainment. But anyway, yeah. And you'll also notice, again, kind of keep it on here, that src equals src, and then, oh, they rickrolled us. That's fantastic. Oh, that is so funny. This is, again, literally the first time that I'm going through this tutorial, and I love it. They rickrolled us. How amazing is that? That is too funny. But anyway, what you're going to notice, the point that they're trying to make, besides, again, rickrolling us, is the fact that you can bind that to attributes. What I also kind of like about the tutorial here is that it does show you what the JavaScript is going to look like. And so you'll notice that it's actually reading through the entire file. It's finding the image, creating an element. It's then going in and grabbing the source and then setting that, and then adding in the attribute for the alt as well there. So you can actually see what the JavaScript is doing behind the scenes. Okay, that's funny. You can also go in and put local style here, and this is something that I really do appreciate about a lot of the different frameworks, as Rick Astley has felt. This is something I really do appreciate about a lot of the frameworks, is the fact that you can do more local style, which really does help you avoid different classes. That when you're dealing with a larger application, trying to manage all of that with CSS files becomes a challenge. And this is something that you'll see in Vue, where you can actually just create a style section like they've got here. You see this in React, where you can go ahead and just import in a CSS file and have that then available as style. So I kind of like that I can just go in and say boom style, and then have that applied. And it says right here that the rules are then scoped just to the component, which is kind of cool. Okay, now, with any framework, there's always going to be the ability to create custom components. And what you wind up doing with a custom component is almost just sort of like creating your own HTML tags. Now, you're not actually creating your own HTML tags, but in a lot of ways, that's what you're doing here. And so that's what they're going to show us here is there's a new file over here called nested.svelte. And so if I come back over here to my app, I could then go in and I can say script, and then I can say import nested from .wack nested.svelte. There we go. And so that will now import that in. And that's, a very common technique. Like, I know that that's how you do it in Vue. And if I remember right, that's roughly how you do that in React as well, or something similar to that. You can just go import and then pull in whatever it is that you want. And so now we can go in and just use that as an HTML tag, nested, boop, and then there's our other paragraph, and that's nested, just like that. So pretty cool. Let's see. Sometimes we want to render HTML directly. We can do that with the HTML. Not overly interested in that, but you can do that. And then now kind of away we go from there. So they're basically just sort of leaving us to our own devices. Once your project is set up using Svelte components, compiler turns each component into a JavaScript class, and then we could import it in with new. Oh, okay. All right. Let's actually do this real quick. Let's do the reactivity here. Let's do an event handler, and then we'll go in and start taking a look at a bit of code. So we're seeing the, we don't have an onClick yet. Okay, so let's go ahead and say on click equals handle click. There we go. And then we can go ahead and just simply say count plus plus. There we go, and then away we go from there. And again, I love this, love that bit of syntax there of just being able to say, here's my variable and be done with that. I love that part of it. That's really cool. That makes me very happy. Okay. Yep. So we've got our event handler. Let's see. And then Svelte automatically updates the DOM when our components change. Often, some parts of a component state need to be computed from other parts, such as that full name. And then you can do that by using that $:. Okay, that's fine. Not too worried about that. We can just leave that there. We can access that in console log. That's cool. All right. Okay, we can create an array. And then they're doing the sum of that. All right, that's fine. And yeah, and then props. Okay. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. So yeah, so a prop for anybody who's not familiar is a relatively common concept in JavaScript frameworks. That again, what you can do is you can create components that are designed to do something specific. So it might be that you're creating a view for detail or for a form or whatever it is. And one of the big things, again, that you're doing when you're creating a component is you're sort of like creating your own custom HTML tag. So if we think, for example, about, let's take like an image tag. Then one of the big things that I want to be able to do with an image tag is to be able to pass values into that, and I do that with properties, with attributes rather. And so I can say src equals, and then whatever the source is, and then I can say alt equals, and then some alt text. Like that. So I can go in and do something like that. And you can do that exact same thing with attributes for the custom components that you're going to create by adding those in through what are known as props. And so if we remember with that nested, we saw this earlier, that we were able to just simply go nested and then it would just display whatever it was that was there. But what we want to be able to do is pass values into that. And so you'll notice that we can then just add in attributes. And again, this is what's known as a prop. So a prop, to us calling it, behaves an awful lot like an attribute. And so if we come over here, when we're using this let answer, that's apparently only going to be for just this component. If we want to make this available to the outside world, we just add in an export. And now you'll notice that answer updated to 42. So if I get rid of that export, so we can just sort of see the difference, you'll notice now it's undefined. I put it back in, and now it's 42. And the reason that it's 42 is because that's the value that we're passing in. So that export to be able to declare properties, that's really cool. I dig that. Yeah. Yeah. It's not normally how it works, but I love that. It's a very natural bit of syntax because, whenever you want to expose something out in like a normal JavaScript module, you just simply say export. So that's pretty slick. And then you can also set a default value. There we go. So if I leave off the answer then, it's going to do that default value. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm digging it. If you have an object of properties, you can use the spread operator. Okay. That's fine. That's kind of common. So yeah, so you'll notice name, version, speed, website. And so we could just go ahead and go boop, 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 PKG. And then that will just expand that out. Kind of cool. All right. And then our logic. Interesting. Okay. So we can add in logic by using that that hashtag. All right, let's try that real quick. Let's go ahead and say, yeah, nice and clear syntax. Yeah, I agree, Bruce. Yeah, it's like so far as I'm going through this, I'm really all of this feels very natural as a JavaScript developer. If user.logged in, and I'm assuming, yeah, that's defined up here. Okay. So if that, I'm curious. I'm going to just try something. I'm curious if else works. And then let's go in and close the if. I guess else isn't there? Or if it is, it's a different syntax. Okay, so there's my login, log out. Okay, all right. I'm kind of surprised that there isn't an else. I really would have expected an else statement there. That's interesting. Okay, that's all right though. I still like that bit of if. That feels okay. I dig that. Oh, there is an else. Okay. See, I was surprised that there wouldn't have been. It's just a colon instead. All right. Wish it was a bit consistent. I wish that was although I guess, yeah, I think I'm picking up what they're trying to do here is that pound starts it and then that colon continues and then the / ends it. All right, I can get behind that. So log in, log out, that behaves the same way. All right. Here we go. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And I dig that. So, once again, like I'm able to look at this and sort of go, oh, okay, I think this is the way that it behaves. And sure enough, that's exactly it. Yeah, block continuation tag with the colon. Okay. All right. I see that. And then, of course, we can do else if, as we would expect. Cool. All right. And then we can do each. And let's go ahead and let's come down here. Open the each block. So that's going to be boop, boop. And then we'll say each cats as cat. All right. Not a huge fan of that because it's different than most other languages, including JavaScript, that I would expect like an of or an in instead of as. So cats as cat. All right, that's fine. Okay, yeah, that's all right. Cool, cool. Let's go in and do the next. Let's see. By default, when you modify the value of an each block, it will remove the items at the end of the block and update any values that have changed. Might not be what you want. Easier said than explained. So click the remove the first thing a few times and notice that it's removing thing components from the end. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, you know what I need? I need like a little bit more space. Okay. And what you'd like to do is to remove the first and leave the rest. So that's where that ID comes in. Oh, okay. I see what's happening. Oh, all right. Sure, sure. So this is then giving me the ability to set up an ID just in line. There we go. Cool. I get it. And so now, yeah, okay. All right. I think I get that. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's cool. Okay. That's cool. I dig this. So one of the biggest challenges that you wind up facing as a JavaScript developer these days is working with async await, making asynchronous calls. And what you typically wind up doing is you typically wind up putting all of your awaits then like inside of your JavaScript. And so right here, here's what they've got is they've got an async function that's going to go ahead and go get a random number. And then they're just calling that here. Well, what this is going to return is this is going to return back a promise. So it doesn't have the actual value there. It's just got the promise. And if I want to resolve that, then I could go ahead and just do an await in here. The ability to be able to do this in the JavaScript is kind of interesting. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. So yeah, so in JavaScript, normally what you would do is you would say let promise equal await, and then put that inside of an async function, which again is sort of like another JavaScript problem that you need to like sometimes bury things to make await work correctly. So I can now just do this directly inside of my HTML. This is cool. So I can just go in and I can say hashtag await promise, and then if it's waiting, I can do that. Oh, that is so cool. Right, yeah, so that way if you have a long-running operation, this makes it very easy then to display out some form of a waiting message, which is not, like, that becomes a little bit tricky to do in a lot of other frameworks. This is cool. I am digging this. And then we can display out the number. It's going to give us back the number. So we'll go ahead and go like this. The number is number. Close my paragraph tag. And then we'll go ahead and catch error. And then I'm just going to go ahead and print out the error. I'll just do that. I'm not going to worry about formatting or anything. P, and then close that out. P attempted to close out one that wasn't open. Oh, is that what you're yelling about? Oh, I don't know why it wound up putting an extra one down below. That's all right. That is so cool. Look at that. That is really slick. So I hit the button, it's going to give me that waiting and then give me the response back. I really dig that. I really dig that. You know, trying to do something like that in JavaScript or do that with another framework you know, it becomes a bit of a challenge. And I love the fact that that's now just like baked right in as a first class citizen. Like, I know that this might not look like an awful lot, but this is actually really big. This is really cool. I really dig that. That's cool. So far, I'm really digging Svelte. That's cool. All right. Let's see. And then events. Oh, okay, sure. Yep. That makes complete sense. Let's see. We could do it inline. Okay, that's fine. Sure. My DOM behaviors can have modifiers. Oh, cool. All right. So that little once there would just automatically do the unsubscribe. So that's kind of cool. So if I leave it like this, you'll notice every time I hit the click me button, it's going to keep saying it. Now what I can do is I can just go in and say once. And so now that will do an automatic unsubscribe, which is pretty cool. So yeah, wish I haven't seen that. Yeah, this has got a lot of really nice creature comforts. I'm really digging this. This prevent default is going to be really nice when working with forms. I like that that's going to just be right here, prevent default. That'll be really cool. That'll be really nice. Okay, yep. And then you can chain them together. That's what I would expect. Cool. All right. And then an event dispatcher. Let's see. This is interesting. All right, let's set this up. Whoops. There we go. And then I want, oh. Create event dispatcher, function say hello, dispatch, message, and then the text is going to be hello. All right. Oh, okay. I think I get it. I get it. All right. I see what's happening. Okay. So, so what we've got here, so this button here that we're seeing displayed, this is from the subcomponent. That's what this is here. And so one of the things that you typically want to be able to do if I'm creating a subcomponent is be able to bubble events out to the parent. So that way, if something like changes in here or user clicks on a button and there's something like maybe global statewise or something else that I need to know of out in the parent app, that I can have that component be able to bubble that event out. And so that's what this is doing here. And it's doing that with this event dispatcher. So it's giving that a name of message, and then there's going to be the value. So if I say hello, now it's going to say hello. And I'm curious, let me see if I can't figure out how to do this. Input type equals text, value equals, curious if my two-way binding will work like this. And let's say name like this. And then let's come up here and let's say, let name equal like that. And then let's go ahead and dispatch the name. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm literally just trying this, but just logically, this would seem to be the way that I'm using that same binding here with the curly braces, in that I'm now trying to bubble that up. Let's see. Test. Nope. Okay, it doesn't work that way. That's all right. That's I wasn't sure if it would or not, but okay. I'm going to be really curious now about form binding. Put a colon in front of it? Nope. Bind? Let me do this. Oh, hold please. Oh, okay. Oh wait, no, that's why. That's why, because I had already, let's see. Nope. Aha, there it is. Look at that. I dig it. Okay. Yeah, bind colon, and now I can grab that and then pass that out. And again, you'll notice sort of that very logical syntax. Like I was able to figure that out within like just another minute or so there. I really dig that. This feels so natural to me, just to be able to go bind colon. And I'm basing that off of, that you were able to do the on colon. So it just sort of made sense then that you could do that, that bind colon. And so now let me go ahead and just get rid of that. And then I can say, hello world, and then poof, there it is. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm really digging this. So yeah. Max, when am I ever going to be a full-time nerd? Nerd is the new cool. I don't know if it's the new cool or not, but it makes me happy at least. Okay. Yeah, that is really slick. Yeah, and then again, back over here, you say on message because message is what this is called. All right, I dig it. I dig it. Unlike DOM events, component events don't bubble. If one way you could solve that is by adding the create dispatcher to the outer. Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm okay with that. Event works for DOM. Okay, that's fine. Not too worried about that. And here we go with the bindings, which is what we were talking about earlier. Yep, you'll notice we could use that bind value, which we already discovered. Oh, right, because I need to bind. There we go. And so now, there we go. That's pretty cool. In the DOM, everything is a string, but I can add in the type. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so the bind will then automatically coerce it into the appropriate I need bind on that. Bind colon. Okay, cool. So bind will, there's something else I'm not doing here. Input. Oh, I need it down here as well. There we go. Okay. There we go. All right, that looks better. Okay, cool. All right. That's kind of slick. Checkboxes, yes, no, that's fine. Bind groups. Okay, so I have multiple inputs relating to the same value. I can use bind group. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, I get it. Sure. Bind colon. Yeah, there we go. And then now that will set up my my radio buttons. Okay. I got to admit, I'm not a mint chocolate chip fan. I'm not a mint ice cream fan. Give me cookie dough. Give me salted caramel all day long. Mint ice cream, just not for me. Not for me. Okay, I'm digging that. Text area can of course bind value. That's what I would expect. Select bind value. Okay. Yep. And that's what I would expect. And then, and again, same with the bind. Yeah, and that's just binding that up to an array. Okay, sure. I dig that. Curious about this. Let HTML equal bind some text. So there's that. And then oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not a fan of this. Okay, so here's what this is doing. Is it's effectively turning a div into a text box so that this little content editable now means that I could go in and change the value of that and then have that propagate out to here. I'm not a fan of that because what you're doing is you're turning a div into a text box. And just from an accessibility standpoint, that's not something you should be doing. So I'm not a fan of that. But there it is. Okay. All right. Block bindings. What needs to be done? Let me see. Okay. All right. That's fine. Media elements I don't really care too much about. That's fine. As long as we just never autoplay media. That's cool. My client width, that's fine. Okay, I think this is good enough. Yeah, I think this is good enough. All right, let's see if we can figure out how to actually write some code with it. So let's do this. So what I want to do, so One of the challenges that you have with Svelte or React or Angular or Vue or any of them is that you will need some form of a preprocessor, that you are going to need something that's going to be able to convert the Svelte files into JavaScript or the JSX files into JavaScript or whatever it is. And, one thing about all the frameworks is they will all have their own command line tools that you can use to do exactly that. And a lot of them are based around Webpack, and you could even go in and do Webpack on your own. I will openly admit I'm not a Webpack fan. I know very little about it, and a lot of that's sort of on purpose because I don't know, maybe it's just me, but having to write code just to get my code to then convert into what it is that it needs to run, like that just it doesn't feel good to me. And that's the challenge that I have with Webpack. And it's why I like tools like Parcel or Snowpack, is because they will allow me to then to be able to do this without having to worry about that. And so Snowpack, there'll be a little configuration that needs to be done. But with Snowpack, what's great is the fact that it will do all of this with very little configuration, far less configuration than is needed otherwise. So if I go in and I do a real quick search on the docs, and I do a search for Svelte, you'll notice getting started with Svelte. And here it all is. So getting started, creating our first component, and so forth. So yeah. So let's go ahead and let's get started. So let's just let me just paste that in. So if you want to see kind of what it is that I'm about to work through, here it is, and I want this right here. So what this script is going to do is this is going to create just a minimal Snowpack application for me. The second parameter is the directory that it's going to create it in. So I'm going to swap that out with a dot when I go in to do it. So let me bring up VS Code. I've got an empty directory here that I can use. And let me go ahead and just change that second parameter to a dot to put it into this current directory. Okay, and then let that do its thing. Oh, that's funny. Because the directory already exists. That's sort of a silly error message to give me, but I guess force will override that. Okay, cool. So let's see what this gave me. What this gave me is it gave me a core Snowpack config file. So again, there's going to be some configuration that needs to happen. And so it will give me that. It will give me my package JSON with Snowpack listed as a dev dependency. And then it will have the start and the build scripts. I'm actually going to change this to dev because that's really what I want, because it's just going to be for dev purposes. There's my build, and then my little index of hello world, my index HTML, which is just going to show welcome to Snowpack, and then the basic CSS file. Okay, that's cool. All right, I dig that. And that's exactly what I would see if I had actually started it. And now let's go ahead and do an npm install of Svelte. So npm install Svelte, like this. Okay, that looks good. And then we are going to need a plugin for Svelte for Snowpack. So I'm just going to grab that. Also, I also know that I'm going to want TypeScript. So let me just go ahead and grab that as well. Starting to kind of sneak ahead here. So I'm going to say Snowpack, plugin, TypeScript, and TypeScript. Let me just Save myself a little bit of typing here. There we go. So all of that is now installed. That all looks good. Okay. And then, yeah, now I need to register that plugin inside of my Snowpack config. Let's open that up. Plugins. So that one, and at Snowpack plugin TypeScript. There we go. I know that I'm going to want that. And then now, in theory, if I do a dev, this should now work. Okay, so let's go ahead and npm run dev. Nope. Interesting. Oh, it's yelling at me because it doesn't have a it's yelling at me because it doesn't have a tsconfig file. Okay. All right, so let's for now get rid of the TypeScript. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Okay. Welcome to Snowpack. We'll get TypeScript added in later. Let's do a little bit of walking. That was my fault. There we go. Okay. So now let's come back over here and create our first component. So we'll create the file named appsvelt, and I'm going to do it this way. Where do you want that? Just inside of the root. Okay, so I'm just going to go app.svelte, and yep, I knew that. So there's some extensions that VS Code has for me. Let's go ahead and install those. I love VS Code. It's so fantastic. Okay, cool. And now, I'm curious. If I just type out, interesting, huh? I would have expected a snippet. I'm curious, are there svelte snippets? It has a built-in formatter. That's fine. I don't care too much about that. Huh. I really would have expected snippets. Let's svelte snippets. Not a lot of installs. Provides IntelliSense for data components. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, let me go ahead and install that one. And, here we go. Svelte 3, there we go. Okay. And 40,000 installs. I dig that. Okay. Alrighty. Now, let's see. Component. That's not really what I wanted. Fine. I'll just create it from scratch. Whatever. All right. Let's. I'm just gonna do a real quick copy and paste. I'm gonna make it a little bit fancier though. I am gonna go ahead and do a real quick let name equal Christopher, and then I'm gonna go ahead and do a hello world here. So I'm going to go hello and then Christopher like that. Name. There we go. Oh, hey, look, I got yellow squigglies there. Yeah, it says Christopher is not defined. I dig that. Okay, perfect. That's great. Okay, there we go. So hello name. All right. So there's our app.sveltes. That looks good. And then inside of our JavaScript file, we need to import that in. So let's let app equal new app, target document, export app. I don't really care about the console log. Okay, let's see. So in theory, yeah, look at that. Cool. All right, so that's now working. That's now working. In fact, we can even start to use some of the things that that we learned earlier. So we can go in and maybe say div, and I can say name, and I can say input type equals text, and I can say bind value to name. And then down here, I can go div, and then I could go ahead and move that up to there. There we go. And now, check that out. Pretty cool. All right, we're moving in the right direction. Everything's looking pretty good. Okay, cool, cool, cool. And now, let's see, let's go back to this little tutorial. Should now say, well, it doesn't say learn Svelte because we did something different. And then now, okay, now it wants us to do it in kind of the normal way. So our source files and then our public folder. So let's go ahead and src and no. Public. And so the src is going to be our JavaScript and Svelte file. Let's put that into there. And then our CSS and our index.html, those are going to go into our public folder. That looks good. And then now I need to update the mount to tell it where to put everything. So let's do this. Snowpack config, mount. There we go. And then with my JavaScript. And then I think I need to update. Yeah, that's what I thought. I need to update that to now say dist index. Okay, so in theory, there we go. Yep. that still works. Cool, cool, cool. Let's make sure. Okay, yeah. Yeah, there were some earlier errors, but that's all been resolved now. Okay. Cool. I dig it. And then we could add in the animated logo, which I don't really feel a need to do. We could add in a counter, which again, I don't feel a need to do. Okay. So let's go ahead and get let's get TypeScript configured. If I'd like to use TypeScript, check out the Snowpack Svelte TypeScript template. Okay. Sure, why not? Let's see. Oh, it's already got our TS config for us. Okay, let's just copy that. Whoosh. And let's go ahead and paste that. That's going to need to be in the root. TS config, JSON, paste that in. Specified include paths where no inputs found in the config file. Oh, oh, weird. Okay, I must be doing something. Weird. No inputs were found in the config file. How old is this? January 13th. Okay. I don't have a types though. Is that gonna fix the problem? Ah, that's what my problem was. Oh, okay. All right. That's funny. It was looking for a TypeScript file, which I of course didn't have. So that's what it was. That's what it was yelling about. So yeah. Okay. And I also know that my script, I'm going to need my language to be TS there. Although I still think that that's going to give me an error, which I'll have to work on fixing. I'm going to fix that. We'll have to figure that out. That's all right. We'll get there. Types. The statics. Oh, okay, that's fine. That's just so it can import in CSS files and so forth. I'm not too worried about that yet. The config for Svelte. Okay, let's grab that. And what was that called? That was called svelte.config.js. Okay, we'll put that in. And let's just sort of like pulling things over here. And then on my Snowpack config, I hope I don't need to do that. It looks like I might. All right, let's just copy that. And let's go to my Snowpack config, and let's just paste that bad boy in. All right. All the rest of that looks fine. Sure. Okay. And then the src, what does this look like? .wac app.svelte. Okay, and then how does this look? All right. Script lang equals TypeScript. Let's see. Script lang equals TypeScript. There we go. And let's go ahead and now my index.ts .wac app.svelte. And you're still going to give me, I can't find it. Okay, let's see. Let me just rerun everything. Interesting. All right. All right, so it's still working. But it is giving me that TypeScript error. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else that I'm missing in here? I don't know what that is, but I'm just gonna copy that in. Or maybe I won't. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay. The count, is there an export anywhere in here? There isn't. Okay. What's the error message that I'm getting? Cannot find module. Okay. There's got to be a TypeScript or something. Let's see. Yeah, that's funny. See, I knew I could just do TS. All right. How do I get the tabs on the left? This is a new Edge thing that, yeah, if you've just updated to the most recent copy of Edge, yeah, it does that, which is pretty cool. In which browser? In Edge. In Edge. curious. So there, let me try and install those packages there that it mentions. Will that fix the problem? Survey says no. Okay. To configure TypeScript, I'll need to create a tsconfig. Okay. Let's see. Can I figure this out? Ah, there we go. Okay, that looks better. All right. Needed to inherit from that. Okay, cool. So now I've got neat little TypeScript stuff. Okay, cool. We're moving along here. We're moving along. All right. Let's see. It's not supported in Chrome. I'm sure there's an extension in Chrome that might do it. Honestly, I've been using Edge since one of the betas, and I really haven't looked back. So yeah. Okay. Let's create a. Let's create an app. What do I want to create? What do I want to create? What do I want to create? I think I'm just going to go with the classic. I think I'm just going to go with to-dos. So let me do this. I'm just going to do it all in here. I'm going to make my life a little easier on myself. I'm going to say interface to-do. And let's say text, and we'll make that a string. And we'll say completed, and we'll make that a Boolean like that. And I'm going to say const to-dos equals new array of to-dos like that. You can use Edge for development. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. 100%. Okay. That's looking good. Let's go ahead and let's get rid of all of this, and let's h1 to do manager. You know, I'm going to change the casing on this. I'm going to do to-dos. Okay. So there's my to-do manager. H2 active to-dos. And let's go ahead and what was it? It was each. So each to-dos as to-do, and then and let's go ahead and that's funny. ul. And let's go ahead and do this. I want to li and to do. We'll just go like that. Can't To-dos is not defined. Let? Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Huh. And then what are you complaining about? Attempted to close a div that was not open. I'm curious. Is it just VS Code was a little slow? Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right, so there's my list of to-dos. Let's go ahead and H2, add new to-do, and let's go ahead and let's say input type equals text on click equals add to do. And let's come up here and let's go ahead and say function add to do, grab the event that it's going to give me back. Oh, has to be in curly braces. There we go. Okay. And that's actually going to be an HTML element. Or more specifically, it's going to be an HTML input element. So let's say event nope. Oh, right. Oh, what is this called? First of all, it's going to be on key press. And what is the event of this? Event source? Nope. Just trying to find. There's an event. Is it going to be a keyboard event? Okay, I've got target and I've got key. Oh, okay. If that equals enter, then I can go ahead and make sure I surround that with an if statement. If it's an enter, then I'm going to go ahead and grab the value. So we'll say to-dos push event target value. Const target equals event target as HTML input element. And then now I can do this. Yeah, no. Oh, right. There we go. That looks good. And then target dot value equals like that, and then target focus. Okay. Cool. Let's see, did that work? Let's refresh my page, and it does not look like it did. Oh, because my server's not running. There we go. Okay. It's a little big. Active to-dos, add to-do, new to-do, testing. Nope. Is it capital E enter? I'm trying to remember now. What does this look like? Let's make sure I've got a refresh here. Oh, interesting. Huh. All right, that's not what I was expecting. All right, just print out the event. What do I have in the event? Let's see. Target. Oh, that's funny. It's not going to give me all the properties. Oh, there we go. Target.value. Value is empty. That's interesting. Why is that empty? That shouldn't be. All right, I'm going to do this sort of the old-fashioned way then. I'm going to do it this way. Let's go ahead and say let new to do equal text empty. Oh, and then let's make sure that this is marked as a to-do. Yeah, there we go. Text empty and completed, and we'll mark that as false. And then let's just go ahead and do this is, I'm going to do a real quick bind here. I'm going to say bind value to be the new to-do text. And then let's go ahead and to-dos push the new to-do. And then let's go ahead and there we go. And then let's go ahead and say new to do text is blank. And event target focus. I know you work as HTML elements. There we go. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Well, this is interesting. All right, so it's pushing it into there, but it's not updating my for each. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Is there... Is there a search on the docs? There does not appear to be. Let's see. What am I looking for? Life cycle I don't care about. Bindings. Let's see. Svelte bind list. How to bind Svelte dynamic values. Yeah, see, that's what I want. Svelte code looks like... Gotta go. Thank you, Bruce. Have a good one. Have a good one. Go enjoy some fantastic seafood for me. All right. Each, how do I get that to dynamically update? Let me just double check. Okay, so each is there. And let's make sure that I've got my each done up correctly. Each cat as, yep, that looks good. Okay. You found the button and edge. Ah, fantastic. Very good. Very good. There we go. It's not refreshing the DOM. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Updating arrays and objects. Okay. Because Svelte's reactivity is triggered by assignments, rice cabbage curry. Oh, okay. That sounds good. I dig that. I can definitely get down with that. Using array methods like push and splice won't automatically cause updates. Okay. There's a more idiomatic. And do... Bye, Bruce. Enjoy your night. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. It was good to chat. It was also just good to reminisce about travel. Bye. Okay, so I need to Okay. I need to do it this way instead of doing push. I need to say to-dos equals to-dos, and then the new to-do. There we go. Okay, this should work. Getting closer. Getting closer. There we go. Whoops. Ah. There we go. Okay, there we go. That's looking good. That's looking good. I dig it. Okay. By the way, I'm going to get rid of this welcome to snowpack. I don't think we need that anymore. Let's just go ahead and, yeah, don't need that. Okay, my active to-dos, add new to-do there. And I don't want that to be an H2 anymore. Let's go ahead and fix that. Just going to make that a div. There we go. That looks a little bit better. Okay. And let's see. I want I want to make this interactive. How do I want to do that? Let's, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring in Bootstrap. I'm going to do it. Let's 4.6 docs. Let's just copy that. Where's my index HTML? Index HTML. There we go. Cool. And here's my little to-do manager. Description. To-do manager. There we go. Let's see. And now let's come back over to this. And let's go ahead and set this to be class equals list group. And then this will be, I'm going to make these buttons now. Button. And then I'm going to say class equals list group item. And then let's go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead, test. Okay, we're looking good. I'm gonna put this into a container here. Div class equals app container. Yeah, there we go. And let's make this a class equals form control. There we go. That's looking good. Maybe placeholder equals add text for to do and press enter. Okay, cool. We're looking good. We're looking good. And so now what I want to do on this button is I want to wire up to an event handler. So let's go ahead and function toggle to do. And how can I get access to the to do? Can I just do this? Can I just say on click, and can I just do this? Can I just say toggle to do and then the to do? Type void is not assignable to type mouse event handler. Oh, no, I can't. All right, you're still yelling at me. All right, let's... Why are you still yelling at me? Why won't you love me? OnClick equals... Oh. Whoa. Ah, that's why. Okay. Right. Okay. Event mouse. Yeah. Okay. Shucks. All right. Then how can I get... All right, where are my event handlers? Reactivity. Let's see. I want... DOM events. Okay, that's fine. I want component events. Yeah, that's not really what I'm looking for. Okay. Oh, hold on. You know what I think I can do? Where's my list? I want a key. Where? Oh, where? Here we go. Key to each blocks. Oh, that's not quite what I want, though. I don't want the ID. Yeah. Whoops. Each cat is cat. I can get the index. Oh, okay. All right. Let's see. We go index, and then what can I bind here? I can bind the value. Actually, I can just do it this way. And I can say index. There we go. All right. So now, event target, this is going to give me, I want the button back. Okay. So I'm going to say const button equals event target as HTML button element button dot value. No, I don't want value. Dang it. No, because that's what it's gonna display. Shoot. How do I do this? How do I find which one it was they clicked on? let's see. Svelte handbook. I want. Is it going to be under bindings? No. Yeah, it's not really there. Okay. Yeah, it's not there. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Ah, create a simple to-do app. All right, fine. I'll just use theirs. To do each data, yada yada, as to do I. Okay. Let's see, click. Oh, interesting. All right. Oh, this is a year old. I think that's using an older version. That's not going to help me. Shoot. Let me go back. Go back to the tutorial here. Let me see if I can't find it in here. I want. What do I want? Let's see, bindings, checkbox inputs. It's something with like a group in here, group inputs. Let's look at this real quick. Let's see. Value equals. Oh, yeah, you know, I think I do want that value. Let's go back. Let's just do this. Let me value equals index like that. And then let me console.log event target value, and let's as HTML button element. Okay, let's try this. F12. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's going to give me back the index. All right. We're getting somewhere. So let's go ahead and say const index equals, and then let's go ahead and say to-dos index do as number. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. No, I can't. how do I... So we're really cooking here. Parse int. There we go. Oh. There we go. Okay. So now completed equals whatever the opposite of to-dos index completed is. Okay. There we go. And so now let's shucks. Do I need to recopy the array? I hope I don't. Oh wait, no, I know why. I don't have, right. How do I do a style binding? I want styling. I want I want a conditional style. There we go. The class directive. Oh, look at that. Okay, cool. I can just do this. I want completed and I want text decoration. Nope. What is it? Can I remember where strike through is? Nope. I think it's on text decoration. Am I just missing? Yeah, it was line through. That's why. Line through. There we go. And then now I can go ahead and on my buttons, I can go ahead and say class colon completed equals curly to do completed. There we go. Look at that. Hey, ha, we've got something here. It works. It works. It works. Boop, 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 boop. Cool. I like it. I like it. Just like that. We've got a little to-do list. Pretty cool. All right. Excellent. There it is. There's got to be a better way to do that event handler, though. There's got to be. I don't know what it is. Actually, hold on. Are you going to... let's see. Cool. Isn't that? Yeah. We got there. Ah. Well, thank you, Mallory. Thank you, Ozzy. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to do this in line. Is instead of doing it here, you know what I'm going to do is, where's this on click? Is I'm just going to go ahead and say boop, boop, and then I'm going to say to do completed equals whatever the opposite is. To do completed. Let's just do that in line. Now I don't have to go like looking up an index or anything silly like that. And let's see. Yeah. Cool. Look at that. It worked. That was kind of fun. I'm gonna set up a GitHub repository here real quick. Do I already have a git ignore? I do. Let's see. Is there let me git ignore IO TypeScript. There isn't Svelte. There isn't. Okay, cool. Then let me go ahead and do this. GitHub. And let's say new repository, and I'm going to call this Svelte to-dos, and public description, basic Svelte app. And let's go ahead and create the repository. And now let's go ahead and just copy that. Cool. Git add everything, git commit, m initial commit, and then let's go ahead and push all of that up. Cool. All right. Like that. And let's see, how much time? You know, I'm going to be brave here. I'm going to try and push this out to Azure Static Web Apps here. Let's see if I can't do it. Static Web App, create resource group, create new, Svelte demo, name, Svelte to-dos, region, West US, GitHub, let me sign in. Continue. Authorize. There we go. Organization. That, and the branch will be main. And then my build. Oh, it's got Svelte built in. Yeah, but my output location is going to be different. I think my output location is going to be build because that's where it's going to create it. I'm going to test this. Hold on. npm run build. Where do you put everything? You put everything into that build directory. Yeah, okay. So that's what I'm going to want there. Review and create create. Let's see if this works. In progress. The build. I know I'm pushing my luck here. Everything's actually gone pretty smooth this morning. I'm pushing my luck. Getting the folders configured can sometimes be a little bit of a tricky process. So if this fails, it's going to be because my folder isn't correct. Pulling on deployment. No API, that's fine. Oh, that's a snowpack thing, that's fine. Light is green. There it is, out at Salmon Bush. Holy buckets. Ha! Look at that. It actually worked. Nobody's more surprised by this than I am. That's fantastic. Cool. All right. I think I'm going to leave on a high note then. Yeah. So that's Svelte. You know, if anybody's still connected, Ozzy Bruce, or Ozzy Mallory, I know that you might still be out there. But yeah, I literally, like, I had not played at all with Svelte before this morning. Like, I was a little bit familiar, and I'll admit, as I was eating my Cheerios this morning for breakfast, I was just sort of kind of flipping through the docs a little bit, so I sort of knew what I was looking at, but for the most part, I was kind of coming in cold, and it's really impressive. And Ozzy can use it too. Nice, yeah. Look at that. But it's really I like Svelte an awful lot. Like, this feels very natural. This feels very natural to me to work this way. That, I mean, for the most part here, all of this is just normal, like, TypeScript, JavaScript. Like, there's nothing that's overly fancy about that, which is pretty slick. And then down here, about the only thing that that I didn't necessarily care for is, like, the each still feels a little bit backwards to me. Like, doing that with the as, that still feels a little bit backwards. And I wish that I'd be able to, like, I could pass the to-do up to an event handler up here by, like, just sort of, like, rerouting it. So I could do something like this. So whatever, the name of my event handler is, I could do it like that. But, it'd be nice if I could just pass that in directly, which is something I can actually do in Vue. And this part here didn't quite feel real good. It'd be nicer if I could just do a push on that. But I mean, otherwise, all of it looks really good. I'm really impressed with how this looks and how this feels. And the fact that I was able to do all of this in the span of, like, just about 2 hours, just coming in cold. is really good. I'm definitely a fan of Svelte. I'm a big fan. I'm gonna have to dig in and play a little bit more, but yeah, like I've done React and I've done Vue, and this so far feels the most natural to me as a JavaScript developer, and a lot of this just it feels very intuitive. So yeah, cool. We did it. We built a Svelte to do app and even got that deployed out. So yeah, thanks for tuning in to Code and Coffee. I'm not quite sure what I'll do next week. I might push my luck, dig a little bit deeper into Svelte, maybe try to build something a little bit more. But in the meantime, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday or Friday, depending on where in the world you happen to be. I'm Christopher Harris, and you can find me on Twitter at Geek Trainer. And yeah, have a good one. Bye.